Hello and welcome! My name is Stolteheim, and this is East vs. Trails Alternative Saga. This is one of my 4 RPG Limit Break 2019 submissions, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to visit my humble little corner of the internet. Whether you're a member of the Games Committee, or if you're a wayward Twitch viewer who stumbled in here through misclick. I don't judge. I'm going to be submitting this game as a story Bidwar, which means I can play as one of the 5 characters that the Twitch donators decide to subject me to. For the purposes of this demonstration video, I'm going to be playing as Geis because he's the character I'm the most comfortable with, and because, frankly, I don't want to have to explain this game 5 separate times. I don't think that would be very practical for your or my time. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1... So the premise behind East vs. Trails is relatively simple. You and 16 other characters are thrown into a Xanadu-esque style world in which your main objective is to escape back to where you belong. The catch? Every single other character is brainwashed except you. So you've got to go through this place, teach all of the characters the value of good manners and friendship like every good JRPG, and bring peace to this war-torn land. Or something, I don't know, I don't speak Japanese. Anyway, we've got our first enemy up, and now would be as good a time as any to explain the mechanics of this game. East vs. Trails plays pretty much identically to East 7, considering both of those games came out around the same time. As such, most of the East characters you're going to be seeing will come from East 7, since, you know, Falcom couldn't really afford to reinvent the wheel. This character, though, is from Trails in the Sky. Meet Tita Russell, of Zeiss Central Factory fame. So a quick overview of combat mechanics. You're about to see me fire off my support character, which gives me a quick boost. That's pretty much all it does. Every character has a basic ground combo, every character has a dash, every character has a guard, every character has an air dash, and every character has a charge attack, which, upon a successful hit, allows them to accrue SP, which in turn is used for skills. Every character also has 2 aerial attacks, which are determined by where you are in the arc of your jump. If you fire your aerial while you're in the rising part, then you use your up aerial, otherwise it's a down aerial. I'm just going to be referring to them as up air and down air because I'm assuming everybody knows Smash terminology, as omnipotent as that game is. Anyway, Tita is down. She's a bit annoying to fight because she's one of the few ranged characters in the game. So her AI dictates that she run away from everything. That's pretty much the main loop of story mode. It's a glorified arcade mode in a sense. You fight 3 characters, then you fight a boss, lather, rinse, repeat until eventually you're out. In story, it's not much more complicated. This character traveling alongside me is Rappy, and he has the ability to reverse the brainwashing effect on characters we defeat. So now, we've gained Tita as an ally, and our objective is to do so for all of the other 16 characters. Now that we're back on the world map, I am quickly going to view the shop and upgrade my sword. Unlike E7, in which you acquire skills and level up said skills through leveling, in East vs. Trails, you buy skills and skill upgrades, along with weapon and armor upgrades and accessories. So, in that sense, it's a lot simpler than your typical East gameplay loop, but I don't really mind it all that much. East vs. Trails knows where its strengths lie. Its strengths lie in taking your favorite waifu or husbando and completely wrecking house with them. Speaking of husbando, this character is nobody's husbando. This is Elk from East 7. He's annoying. That's all I can say about it. He's a light character, which means he's a lot faster than your average character, and that makes him difficult to hit, combined with his small hitbox. So, he's a cumbersome character to fight, but fortunately he doesn't have much HP nor defenses, so you can tear through him if you have decent accuracy. The next character up on the chopping block is Chloe Rins, or as some of you may better know her as Claudia von Ausles from Trails in the Sky. Unfortunately, the game doesn't really do her much justice here, because she's rather frail in HP and defenses, but she has pretty decent attack. Her AI interprets this as, be incredibly aggressive, and that really does not work given her relative frailty. So, unfortunately, this is one of the easier fights in the game. Which is a shame, because I like the character a lot. Fire off my strength bonus real quickly. Some objects in stages can be breakable, which gives you extra SP, potentially, along with other possible drops. So, whenever I'm in the vicinity, I try to break them. And with that, she's down. That fight took a lot longer than I would have wanted it to because she was being really jumpy, but nonetheless, it's done. One of Geiss's strengths as a character, though, is how well he deals with jumpy characters, despite my sloppy gameplay. He's got incredible anti-air, so he can just pluck characters out of the sky. We've got a boss area, and in boss areas you can choose a character to bring with you as an ally. I've chosen Chloe because she's the first menu option, and because she can actually wreck stuff on ground when she has proper backup. In this boss area, every character faces a sort of counterpart character. I'm not entirely sure why Geiss's counterpart is Aisha from E7, but I'm guessing Falcom just ran out of characters, because, I mean, Geiss is a loner edgy boy and all. This is where the game teaches you about S-breaks, which are powerful skills you can fire when a relevant gauge is full. You also have a flash guard, which grants you crits if you guard right before an enemy hits you, and in combination with that, you get crits for the entire duration of your S-break if you fire it immediately after a flash guard. That works for nearly every character. Unfortunately, it also means that having dealt so much damage to Aisha, she's already charged her S-break, and it just completely missed. That is not supposed to happen. Nonetheless, Aisha is dead. Strader is a great boss to practice flash guards against, because all of his attacks are incredibly telegraphed. With that, both the Strader and Aisha are down. Got a break ring for that. Sometimes you get random accessories after fights. I don't really have much of a use for that particular one, but I don't know, it'll be nice to equip it nonetheless. With that, Aisha is now on our team. She is being a typical tsundere, because that's a popular character trope, I guess. I wouldn't know, I don't speak Japanese, so I guess I can't be too bothered by it. Now that that's over, we have a new batch of 3 enemies to fight. You can technically go after this one in any order, but I just choose to do it from lowest to highest level because there isn't really any incentive to do higher level fights at lower level. You'll eventually get the same amount of XP, so it just comes down to fights taking longer if you're a lower level. Anyway, this is one of the easiest fights in the game, and it's another Trails in the Sky character. It's the pervy bard himself, Olivier Laneheim, and the game doesn't really do him justice either. He's a ranged character like Tita, but the stage he's on does not allow him any room to actually roam. This is a completely straight line, much like the Phantom Train from Dissidia. So he's got little room to negotiate, and since ranged characters entirely rely on being able to move wherever they need to, This makes him pretty well crippled. So I can pretty freely wail on him with my abilities because he doesn't really have a counter. I mean, he doesn't really have anywhere to go. He does have this that he could use. I've actually never seen him pull this off in a run. But nonetheless, he's nearly dead anyway. Poor guy. And with that, he's dead. We now have him as an ally, for better or worse. Some people might not find that the most appealing proposition, but nonetheless, on to the next area. I now have 1,000 points, so I'm going to get a skill. I'm gonna equip it real quick. Every character has 3 tiers of skills, which are supposed to correspond to levels of efficacy, but some skills are particularly broken. In particular, I'm going to be getting one of Geiss's level 2 skills because it's just that good. Anyway, this is Krushi. She's actually a pretty good character, but she was kind of dealt a bad hand by her stage. This lava stage hazard will damage you over time, and since Krushi's AI is aggressive on account of her being a tank, she is compelled to immediately bathe in the lava after me. So I can just lure her in here, and she will eventually die on her own in combination with my attacks. And with that, she's down. You win! It's a pretty silly fight, all things considered. Nonetheless, she's now a valuable ally. She is the partner that I use the most in boss fights, on account of her being very tanky and surprisingly movable. Anyway, gonna visit the shop, upgrade my sword real quick, in preparation for this fight, which is actually kind of difficult. Up next, we got Falcom's big man himself, Adol Kristen, the main character of pretty much every Ys game since the dawn of Ys. Or, wait, since before the dawn of Ys. Never mind, you know what I mean. Adol and Geiss have a bit of a friendly rivalry thing going on, and by friendly rivalry, I mean Geiss wants to kill Adol at any particular chance that he gets. So they've agreed to a sparring match here. Pop my strength bonus. I'm gonna be using my strength bonus a little later than I had been in these fights because it no longer lasts the entirety of the match now. Anyway, this is my new tier 3 skill. It's very, very effective at what it does. Unfortunately, he's also got a really effective tier 3 skill of his own, so I need to be careful. He's also got a significantly powerful S-break, and he just got crits throughout the entirety of that. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but either way, he's just about dead. If he would just stop backing up, thank you. You win! Particularly keen-eyed viewers might have noticed his rather eclectic moveset, and that's on account of him earning his fairy companions as hand-me-downs from his brother. That all went down in Ys 6, which would be kind of spoilery if I were to discuss it, so I'll just leave it at that. He also heavily abuses magical talismans that he earned in a similar manner. But anyway, we've got another boss area. I've decided to bring Crushi, because I prefer my AI companions to be as tanky as possible. They have a tendency of not getting their S-crafts off before they die, and since I would really like them to get their S-crafts off before they die, I'd prefer a tanky character so that they get as many opportunities as possible. Anyway, this is a Bidwar. I have no idea how you translate its name. Alexander O. Smith, please get back to me. I need professional help for this. The name of the game here is Flash Guards. If you can consistently Flash Guard and get capitalizations off of it, like here, then this fight will go pretty smoothly. Unfortunately, I am by no means consistent at this game, so this is one of my weaker fights. You've also got to mind your combo count here, because combos unfortunately do have damage scaling, so sometimes you'll just see me stop and hold guard so that my combo counter resets. It's a preferable alternative to just gradually dealing less and less damage. Would you please stop that? That fight took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but nonetheless it is dead. And I frankly can't dwell on it for too long, because the Bidwar is not the star attraction of this boss area. Far from it. The star attraction of this boss area is a special support section member of the Crossbell Police Department by the name of Lloyd Bannings. This guy right here, is the bane of my everything. He's not even supposed to be here, because Trails from Zero wasn't released at this point in time, so he's entirely here as a sort of Roy and Melee promotional deal. And good God, did they make him broken. What makes Lloyd so powerful is that he's got ridiculous attack power and ridiculous combos. Probably even more so than Adol. Thanks to his twin Tonfa, pretty much every attack he does is a sort of 2 for the price of 1 deal. So if he hits you with his base 10-string combo, then you can pretty much kiss the match goodbye. He's also got a ton of disruptive abilities that he can use to out-priority you. So he's overall not a fun character to fight. And I'm taking a lot of damage right now, so I really need to focus. Please fire your S-craft before you die, Crushi. You did not. Could have gotten a Flash Guard crit there, but instead I got combo. That's basically the story of this fight. Okay, I need to focus. Okay, Flash Guard, S-Break. This should deal some damage. Okay, thank God he's down. You win! That fight is incredibly nerve-wracking. Nonetheless, the nightmare has been vanquished. Problem is, Lloyd couldn't even be enough of a decent person to join the party as an ally afterward. He's going off to do his own thing, so... Oi! Falcom, you made a Gary stew, and I don't like it. One obnoxious departure scene later, and we have 3 more enemies to fight, and some more money. Gonna upgrade my weapon real quick. Next area to explore is Mount Eaglet, which you might recognize from Xanadu Next. In fact, all of the locations in here are from Xanadu Next, so if you're familiar with that game or have played it, all 13 of you, then look forward to some other familiar areas as the story progresses. For the meantime now, we're headed to Ravenu Village and Agate Krosner from Trails in the Sky. This guy's pretty interesting to fight. He's similar to Geis, if maybe a little more powerful and a little slower, but he's a little bit strange to fight due to his Wild Rage ability. I want him to spam it as much as possible, so it boils down to RNG, frankly. Wild Rage sacrifices some of his HP in favor of his extra gauge, which frankly is a win-win for me, because using his EX gauge charges up my EX gauge, and, you know, him dealing more damage to himself is perfectly fine by me. I'm gonna fire off my strength bonus real quick. Got a lucky flash guard there. One slight change from E7 is that flash guarding is no longer done by mashing a button while you're holding guard down. Instead, you just have to time guard. So, I don't believe you can chain flash guards in this game like you can in 7 or other Ys games. It's more like Nayuta, now that I think about it. With the exception that Nayuta's guarding is just basic guarding, no flash at all. Okay, he's using his thing. I'm gonna let myself get hit by that because that'll charge up my X gauge. Don't mind me, please. And that didn't kill him. Whatever, this should. That didn't kill him either. Would you please just die? Thank you.
You win!
At this point, I'm gonna get my next weapon upgrade, and then... Actually, wait, no, I don't do that anymore. My mind's a mess. But yeah, while that fight was relatively fun, this fight is not. This is Maishara from E7, and she's a ranged character, like Tita and Olivier. This means that her AI dictates that she run away from everything. Unlike Tita and Olivier, however, her stage fully allows her to do so, because this is, I believe, the largest stage in the game. This makes tracking her down when she wants to run incredibly cumbersome. My main strategy is to just try and keep her in this corner area for as long as I can, even though she will inevitably escape, because that's just how this works. Not entirely sure how she guarded that after getting hit by 2 attacks in the string, but whatever. Try to push her back toward this corner, even though that didn't really work. Let's look at this, see if there's anything. Try to get a quick juggle going. Geis's aerials are great, because they combo into each other. His up aerial has ridiculous range, and his down aerial is a great trapping tool that bounces you up into the air. So he can just do up air to down air to up air to down air, lather, rinse, repeat. Unfortunately, Seg Tactic is kind of slow, so really I only use it either when I'm in a pinch or when something is at low health and I need to kill it without thinking, like a rational human being. Up next is Ren. She's a character from Trails in the Sky, particularly 2nd and 3rd chapters. Discussing anything more than that would be kind of spoilery, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm just gonna destroy some of these things. That's health, I don't want her getting that. That's SP, I also don't want her getting that. Ren is kind of like Elk, except a bit a bit slower and a bit more powerful. So slightly more tolerable to fight, but nonetheless annoying. That scythe of hers has quite the range on it. She's at low health, so she's probably about to fire off her S-Crat any time now. So I'm gonna try to prevent her from doing that. There we go.
You win!
And with that, we've defeated the 3 enemies of this area, and it's on to the next boss. Your partner is mandatorily Aisha for this part. It's whatever character you faced in the first boss area, and that'll become pretty apparent why in just a moment here. You got these 2 mirrors here, and upon investigation, they create mirror images of the 2 main characters. So in this case, we've got to go up against fake Geis and fake Aisha. Just when I thought having 1 tsundere in the party was bad enough, we get 2 tsunderes. God help us all.
Ready? Fight!
I'm gonna try to be abusing my aerials as much as I can, because hitting 2 characters with a slow juggle is better than hitting 1 character with a fast combo. So, battle of lesser evils here. My 3rd tier skill is also great. I actually completely forgot what it was called, for dealing a lot of damage in a short span of time. So I'm gonna try to get them bunched up here. I think I'm about to take an axe to the face. I did. But that doesn't matter. Got a nice combo going. Guard to reset. Hey, flash guard! Oh, and it got squandered. I was just about to get a really nice string going, but then I got knocked down by something. Whatever, I'm gonna take it out on you. Reset my combo real quick, and then I'm gonna try to take Aisha down. I do not want her firing off her S-Craft. I say as she immediately fires off her S-Craft. And it misses. Please kindly die, sir. And that should do it.
You win!
Fight was a little bit slower than I wanted it to be, mainly because I didn't get many opportunities for happy birthdays, but it was still a decent fight nonetheless. And with that, we're on to the next area of the game as the accursed tsundere vanishes into the air. Thank you. I have been saved. One sort of obnoxious cutscene later. I said one obnoxious cutscene later, and we're through. The next character up on the roster is Dogi the Wall Crusher himself, from various East games. His Wall Crusher moniker is not earned without warrant, because if I'm not careful, he will crush my skull in. This is where fights get progressively more dangerous, because my new strategy of not buying any armor upgrades past the fight with Lloyd makes it so that I'm constantly at low HP down to the wire fights. So I've got to be careful, or else this guy will mop the floor with me. As well as just about everybody else from this point onward. As evidenced by that, his normal attacks deal 3 times mine. He's also got a whole bunch more health than I do. And he just got a bunch of SP. I think I'm about to take a punch to the face. Yes. Ooh, thanks for the flash card. I'm sorry, you were staggered. You're not supposed to escape from that. I do not want him getting that health! Okay. That's good. That puts me back on more even footing. I've actually never gone down here. I knew that this was here, I've just never gone here in a fight, but hey, it's a corner, so it's a decent opportunity to get some damage in. What's in here? That's SP. That's welcome. That fight took a little longer than I wanted it to, because he was mopping the floor with me. But it's fine. Can do another sword upgrade, so I'm gonna get that real quick in preparation for the next fight, which is Joshua Bright from Trails in the Sky. Joshua plays similarly to Elk in terms of speed, but he's got a little more power and a little more tankiness in exchange for a larger hitbox, which means he's much more hittable. This fight is actually pretty fun. I've gotten a ton of chance flash guards by complete accident by virtue of how aggressive his AI is, so he's quite the exhilarating fight, especially with the new strategy of no defense whatsoever. I think I'm about to take a sword in the face. I did not mean to do that in the air. Where is he going? Was what Estelle was asking for the entirety of Trails in the second chapter. Oh dear. Oh, I just wasted my thing. This fight is going a lot slower than I would have liked it to. In fact, Joshua is kicking my behind right now. I'd like to kindly ask him to stop that. Okay, he's done.
You win!
Up next is, fittingly, a good friend of Joshua's. This is Lova. And anybody who's played second chapter will immediately recognize this place. We are indeed going here, and yes, we're getting some Silver Will. It's time for Falcom Sound Team JDK's finest hour. This fight is an absolute nightmare as Estelle, Chloe, and Tita, due to Lova's incredible damage output and surprising durability. Fortunately, as Adol and Geis, it's a lot more manageable, because they are able to take much more punishment than the other three. My god, this music. The main strategy as Estelle, Chloe, and Tita is to actually lure him into that pit over there and deal damage that way, because he has so much health that you just can't chew through it before he chews through you. So getting him to fall into the pit and dealing damage that way is one of the only ways you can manage that fight, consistently at least. Anyway, he's nearly down, but he's probably going to S-craft me. Okay, good, I got him in time.
You win!
Unfortunately, the fight still took a lot longer than I was hoping. In this run, I'm implementing a slightly different strategy. I'm not upgrading any of my skills. Instead, I'm solely going for upgrades to my attack. And I'm not entirely sure how it's working out so far. This would be the point in the run where I would upgrade my third tier skill, but instead I've focused it entirely on my weapon. And this fight will determine whether or not that will bear any fruit. Meet Degatan. I'm not entirely sure whether or not this guy appears in Xanadu next, along with all the other bosses, but he's one of the more difficult enemies in the game, mainly by virtue of there being two of him. Like with the other bosses, the name of the game here is flash guarding. You need to flash guard consistently to have a shot at defeating this boss, especially if the AI does not behave. Unfortunately, this is me we're talking about, so flash guarding is not entirely a thing I can consistently do. Try to lure these two closer together. Okay, got one flash guard. Decent damage. I did not expect to flash guard that, but I was too late on the draw. I've already taken a lot of punishment, so I need to be careful. I think I missed that. Oh, no, I didn't. I managed to get the flash guard S-craft in time. That's a lot of damage. Okay, Cruci's over there doing that. Should be able to finish off this guy. There we go. Now. Okay, this should be death. There we go. So that took about the same amount of time as my fights with them usually take, if not a little longer, because I had quite a few mistakes early. But with that, we're on to the final area of the map. This is Castle Strange Rock. Fans of Xanadu Next will probably recognize this as the final dungeon area in Xanadu Next. At least I believe this is the final dungeon area in Xanadu Next. No reason it wouldn't be. But anyway, I'm rambling, because it's about to turn into something completely different from Xanadu Next's Castle Strange Rock due to plot convenience. We're back fighting Adol again. Turns out he escaped, and we weren't able to convert him into an ally when we defeated him the first time, so he wants a rematch, and Geis is more than happy to oblige. Because that's another opportunity to grind a halberd on a whiny do-gooder's face or something. Adol's quite a bit stronger than he was first time around, though. He's mopping the floor with me right now. Thanks for the flash guard. Yeah, you just stay up there while I whiff my third tier, thank you. Excuse me, please. Thank you. Goodbye.
You win!
Nothing really much that I can say about that fight, honestly. It's just Adol round 2. And rather fittingly, following the poster boy for Ys is the poster boy for Trails, one Estelle Bright. Estelle actually plays kind of similarly to Geis. She has pretty good anti-air and acts as a jack-of-all-trades, above being particularly good at one thing. Although I do need to be pretty careful because this was where my last run ended. Estelle might look unassuming, but she has quite a lot of power in that staff of hers, so I need to carefully space out my attacks. I think I'm about to take a staff to the face. Ow. I just got hoisted by my own petard. Thanks for running right into that. I'm gonna reset my combo. That's SP, I will gladly take that. Where are you going? I don't know if you forgot, but I'm kind of over here. Oh, I'm just gonna let myself get hit by this. Should charge up my S-meter thing. Alright. And that's Estelle down. The last character to face is one that I don't think many people were expecting to appear in this game. We've got Chester Stoddart from Ys 3. They've completely 3D'd him, which is weird because Ys the Oath and Felghana, the remake of Ys 3, had 2D sprites.
Ready? Fight!
Chester is an interesting enemy to face. He plays sort of like a slower but tankier Joshua, especially with his tendency to teleport around everywhere, much like his Oath and Felghana incarnation. In fact, he's actually pretty faithfully recreated from his Oath and Felghana boss fight, which I'm sure will send shivers down several Oath and Felghana players' spines. Kind of wish this game got released in English, though, because hearing Derek Stephen Prince as Chester Stoddart was one of the highlights of Oath and Felghana. I'm sorry, did I give you permission to whiff on that? That's what I thought. I do not want to let him fire off his S-Craft. Especially when he potentially has a crit bonus from a flash guard, and fortunately I managed to avoid it. I've also got enough money now to buy the next weapon upgrade, so I'm gonna hit the shop real quick before this next boss fight. I'm gonna buy a golden crown, which gives me 25% extra S gauge to start a fight, which is going to be very, very welcome considering what this boss fight has in store for me. We've reached the throne room of Castle Strange Rock, and we've got this strange crystal here to greet us. Because, you know, this is a JRPG. You can't have a JRPG without crystals, just ask Square Enix. Or, you know, any JRPG company. This crystal seems to have invited us for a party, but unfortunately, even though they invited us, they didn't invite anybody else, so we're trapped inside. Fortunately, it seems like we haven't been completely ghosted, because we do have some company here. We've got, oh hey, it's Lova. Nice to see you again. Oh hey, it's Ren! I'm not sure what you're doing here. Oh god, it's you. Yeah, it's a 3-on-1. And despite my grumblings, it's actually my favorite fight in the game. Here we go.
Ready? Fight!
I'm gonna be heavily abusing my aerial combo here, as well as my tier 3 skill. I think I'm about to take a sword in the face. Despite this being a 3-on-1, the odds are actually pretty even here, because there's a sort of hidden handicap in your favor, and it makes for a really entertaining fight. Okay, that's one down. I need to reset my X gauge to make sure. Oh dear, one of them just S-crafted. Fortunately, that means my X-craft is ready. I just called it an X-craft instead of S. I'm not sure why I did that. This isn't Dissidia. Get back here. Thank you.
You win!
And with that, we're through. I didn't catch whether or not I had enough money to upgrade my skills, so I'm gonna hit the shop real quick after this fight. Doesn't mean much, though, because the fight after this is the final boss. Lova, Ren, and Chester have all been pacified, fortunately, and the party's over, so the crystals let us out. We are no longer obligated to stay. And Rappy is... Wait, what's he doing? Welcome to Falcom Hat Trick number 427. Michelle Laphaven from Gagarv. Yes, they're reaching that far back. They're even pulling, this is the Resistance theme from the original Legend of Heroes. So they've really dug through the history books for this one. It's not just Trails in the Sky represented here, despite what the title would have you believe. And honestly, I'm all for it. Neat callbacks like this are pretty nifty. Anyway, Michelle explains to us that we've got one last enemy to fight, and then we need to use this sword called the Dragon Slayer in order to take him down. You know, standard JRPG fare. Alright, can I afford my thing? Yes, I can, with 19 points to spare. I will gladly take it. That, we've reached the altar. Finally here, we've got one big happy family cutscene to go through, but there's still one boss left, and it's just snap the Dragon Slayer in half. We're up against Galsis, the final boss of Xanadu next, and coincidentally, the final boss of this game. Just when it seems all hope is lost and our heroes have no method of finding their way through, suddenly a random Gary Stu appears and grants us some sort of strange, magical 11th hour superpower. I don't know, I don't entirely speak Japanese. But whatever it is, it allows us to fight this boss despite no actual change in gameplay. Hey, I'm all for it, especially for this remix of Overdosing Heavenly Bliss. Oh my god. Oh, Bliss is right. Anyway, final boss time.
Ready? Fight!
Alright, let's go. I think I'm about to take a foot to the face. Oh, no, I guarded it. This boss is pretty simple to get down. If you attack the feet, the head go down for a short period of time. You gotta eventually take down all three body parts in order to win, so I just attack as I go. Boss ain't quite dead, unfortunately, which is not the outcome I would have wanted. So I'm gonna let myself get hit here to charge up my X. And then go. Kaboom!
You win!
And that is East versus Trails. a prayer for that Seiyu's throat. So I'm kind of surprised. I actually didn't expect a PB on that. So I'm happy that worked out. And with that, we've got a standard ending scene. Michelle congratulates everybody for their good work. Everybody says their goodbyes as they return to their real world from Phantasma. I mean, the Xanadu next alternate plane. Slip of the tongue. And all is well and good. Why none of this is ever brought up ever again, despite this game supposedly being canon? I don't know. Kondo works in mysterious ways. But anyway, that is East vs. Trails Alternative Saga. I hope you liked what you saw, and if you'd be willing to maybe give little old me a shot at glory, then I'd be eternally thankful to you guys. Okay, now it just sounds like I'm begging. I'm gonna shut up and just let the ending play. Thank you very much for watching.
でガッシュ、これからどうすんのさ。
陸についても宿が取れませんわね。野宿生活に逆戻りですわ。
先ほどの町でロギンもつきました。このままでは。
うるせえな。次の町で傭兵の仕事を探せばいいんだろ。俺は疲れてんだ。しばらく寝かせてもらうから見張りは頼んだぞ。
了解しました。ゆっくりお休みください。
ずるい。じゃあまあいいか。
あら、この船ガッシュ様が寝ててちゃんと目的地に着くのかしら。